Good morning. Today we are visiting Mr. van der Merwe, Kallie van der Merwe. He is the founder of Safland. And thank you very, very much for inviting us here at the Droombos today. It's absolutely stunning. But we're not going to talk about the Droombos today. Today we're going to talk about the man, Mr. Kallie van der Merwe and Safland. Mr. van der Merwe, who is Safland?
Hi, Marie. Yeah, thanks very much for the opportunity, and I'm very happy to host you in the Droombos Gardens. Who is Safland is a bit of a long and a loaded question. Safland was founded in 1992 by myself and my wife Marinda. At the time we weren't married. We started off as call it a one-man show, although we were two. It took us many years, and in this instance exactly 20, before we moved to Namibia. And at the time we moved our total operation, or our headquarters, to Windhoek in Namibia. That happened in 2011. And the timing is excellent because that actually makes us 10 years old this year, 10 years young in Namibia.
It's your birthday.
Yeah, we will be turning 30 next year as a group, and I will also be married 30 years next year with my wife, whom I married just after we started Safland.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, then the next question I want to ask you, what do Safland do?
Safland started off as a property broking or brokering house in 92, and we soon evolved into a property development company sort of from the mid-90s. And around 99 we did our very first in-house development, and we were mostly involved in the motor trade, motor related developments in South Africa, and some retail, and then we moved to Namibia. Safland Namibia was appointed as the fund manager for the Frontier Property Trust, and we started developing properties. Our first one, and it was the big one, was the Grove Mall of Namibia, together with our partners at the time, Demashuwa and the Atterbury Property Group. At the same time, we were involved in the development of Washamba Mall on Dangwa and the Otjiwarongo Town Square. Around 2014, we formed a company called Safcol that was together with our partners Collins Properties in South Africa. And in Collins we developed the Rundu Mall, the Gubabis Mall, Mega Center, which is next to the Grove, and that was followed by the Steps development, the office development that incorporated the Virgin Active and the Town Lodge Hotel.
Stunning hotel.
Thank you, thank you. We don't own it, but we're very happy to have it as part of our portfolio. I think the Safland that we see today is fairly different. There's still a belief out in the market that we only do and work on our own developments, which is not true. We have numerous clients in Namibia, and our services is typically in property development, project management, property management, facility management, and a host of other services that we offer to the market in general.
So it's like a huge service that you actually provide.
Yes, I would say Safland is probably the most diverse in as far as services are concerned property company in Namibia.
Okay. Is there some advice that you can give entrepreneurs that want to break into the market and invest in property or in real estate? Because you're a man with years and years of experience. What advice can you give in these difficult times?
Yeah, that is true. We do have years of experience. I think it starts off with the word break into the market. There's no breaking into the market, and I think it should be fairly clear from where I started off with us being founded in 1992. When we eventually came to Namibia, that was after 20 very, very hard years of starting from extremely small beginnings and working our way up in the industry we arrived in Namibia, and a lot of people say to us, but you became successful very fast. And we used to have a standing joke to say, yes, it took us 20 years to become an overnight success, because everyone only saw the overnight success part. They didn't know what was really behind that. So I think starting off, we don't break into a market. It's a process. Where do you start and when do you start? The answer is now. You start immediately. You take your first step. You shouldn't listen to all the naysayers and the doomsayers. And in most instances, as young people whose parents grew up in a different environment, or there might be cultural differences, and so, and a lot of people always tell their children, don't do it. Find security. Make sure that you you study. And I'm not talking against any of those, and especially not educating yourself. But the problem is people see education as a means to an end, and it's not what it's about. Start taking the steps, but one must be very careful. I think honesty is extremely important, and I think in this instance specifically, to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Not everyone out there is an entrepreneur, and not everyone should be an entrepreneur. So the honesty comes in. Do you really see yourself as an entrepreneur? A lot of people want to own a business because they're not happy in a current scenario. And to that I would like to say, if you're not happy at what you're doing, or maybe rather rephrase, if you're not doing what you believe will make you happy, find happiness in what you're currently doing. Entrepreneur, you will be doing things that won't make you happy. People see a certain business, and whether you want to be a florist or whatever you want to do, unfortunately with that goes finances. And if you don't enjoy finance as an entrepreneur, you have to do those things you don't have to do. You will have to employ staff. You will have to deal with those challenges. You will have to deal with the tax man. And that's the facts of life. And an entrepreneur is a person who can deal with all these little issues in the best way possible. But I think most importantly, I actually was thinking maybe to end off with that, but let me say it at this stage. If one wants the secret to success, and this is the ultimate secret, this is the silver bullet to success, is a desire.
Yes.
And that's what you need, is desire. And desire is a very small, big word. But to have the desire for something, to have this picture in your mind of where you want to be, and to make the commitment to get up every morning and to take that first step every day that'll lead to something. And that's ultimately what it's about. I know a lot of people want a silver bullet, and that's why in good health, people are always looking for the next medicine or the pill, and so instead of looking at a lifestyle situation. And this is exactly it. There's no silver bullet.
That's very, very good advice. Okay, then the last question I want to ask, I know you very, very busy and you haven't got a lot of time, but tell us your story. You had a vision. How did it all start? It was obviously hard work and a lot of challenges, but just tell us shortly you're the man, Mr. Kallie van der Merwe, your story.
Unfortunately,
and how did it all start?
Yeah. Unfortunately, it is probably as bland as the rest. I had a burning desire. To make something of my life, but I had no idea of how to do it or where to start. So there was literally nothing. I didn't leave school with this fantastic vision. I wasn't a very strong student at the time. There was actually, to be quite honest, when I left school, I wanted to become a journalist. That's what I wanted to do. And then things happen in your life, and you find yourself on a certain path.
Yes.
And personally, I was what did they call it at the time? The promotions manager at Magalies Park Country Club in South Africa. And I met someone who was involved in property, and I liked the idea, and I started off in property initially as a estate agent, which didn't last very long, and I started moving up in property and I started developing. So that's when that tickled my interest.
Yes.
But it could have been anything. So I think it's back to the point. And I like to refer to that as the Johnny Walker effect. And let's just keep walking. Start walking into a certain direction, and be observant, and see what really trickles your fancy. Sometimes it might be something that you don't really appreciate. If you look at our story today, we're mainly talking about Safland. Went up to a certain stage in our life, and it's late in our lives. And my wife and I always had this bit of a dream with hospitality, and that's when Roombos happened, unfortunately 4 months before COVID,
Yes.
which presented its own challenges. But today at Roombos we're looking at farming with herbs, and I'm as passionate about the herb farming as I am with Safland. There's new challenges within Safland. A lot of them are taking us to places that we never really considered before. I think the important thing is, I actually know the important thing is keep walking. Start off in a certain direction. If you have to work for someone, be the best employee. I want to go as far as to say, if you don't excel in what you're doing for someone else, you'll find it very difficult to excel in your own business. We can always find the time to be the best employee, the energy to become and to remain the best employee, and that's where it starts. That's where people will identify you, and that will set the tone for the rest of your life, and probably the stepping stones for you becoming a successful entrepreneur.
Yes. Mr. van der Merwe, thank you very, very much for your time. I know you're a busy man. We appreciate it. And it's absolutely stunning here at Roombos.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you.